Hi, and welcome to Weigh In with Connie and Jane. I'm Connie, and this is my co host. Hold up, Jane. Her channel is Scraptastic Yarn. So if y'all watching and y'all haven't checked her out, please do so. Her channel link is in the description box. And at this point, I don't think any of my moderators are here, but if one of y'all or if y'all could drop Jane's link in the description box of today's live. Y'all will love her. She's amazing. I know I need a little bit of Jane in my life. A little bit of Jane in my life. All right, we have Dawn and Marchell. I hope I'm saying your name right. And Amy with Crafting Adventures with Amy here. Howdy, howdy. A few things I do want to put out there. Me and Jane are not doctors. We're not experts. We're just yawny peoples that have our own weight struggles, and we've kind of researched trying to be successful on our journeys. Some of this is stuff that we talk about that we find that helps us, or things that we've learned over the course. I don't know as much about Jane's history, but I know I have a long history with my weight struggles. Some of y'all watching maybe in the same boat. Maybe y'all struggles aren't as big, and maybe there's some aspect that maybe it's the opposite thing for you, you know. But there's some relationships struggle with food, or you just want to get healthier. That's what this live is about. It's about helpful tips, motivation, um, encouragement. But anytime you start any weight loss journey or exercise regimen, you really need to consult with your doctor. They're the experts. And sometimes it's a case where you have certain health issues, mobility issues. Your doctor is more knowledgeable on that. You know, like like I have heart issues, high blood pressure. I have to watch my sodium. I'm diabetic. I have to watch my carbs and sugar. And I don't know what Jane's, medical situation is. She may be kind of in that boat. um, it could be something else. You may not have these issues. And all this stuff factors in. So just because I mentioned something, it's not set in stone. It's just what works for me sometimes, and what I've discovered on my journey and in my research. So I wanted to put that out there. um, I also want everyone to feel like this is a safe space. I'm not asking anyone to talk about anything they're not comfortable with. Even though it's called Weigh In with Connie, it doesn't mean you got to sit there and say, I weigh X amount.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to, if you want to share that you've lost weight, you can. If you don't, whatever floats your boat, whatever you're comfortable with. Maybe you gain weight. If you're not comfortable talking about it, don't. Maybe you're watching and all you're doing is sitting back and listening, and even though you may be live with us while we're live, you don't say a single word in the chat. That's what we call lurkers. We love our lurkers. We love everybody. And that's fine. lurkers are always welcome to my lives. I love each and every one of y'all. um, let's see, and also any of my mods that are here, I'm asking for your help to help keep this a safe zone because there's trolls out there, and as much as I try to do everything I can so nobody says anything hurtful in the chat, there could be someone that stumbles across this line and they're not nice, they're not kind. So if I notice it, I'll do what I can to fix it or ask a mod to step in. If my mods notice it first, get those type of people out of my lives. Be like, hit the road, troll, and don't you come back no more. So, and while you're here, it may take me longer in the live to get to the comments. I'm doing things in 15-minute intervals. So I'm gonna we'll talk about things for 15 minutes and then I'll check in with the chat. But if y'all want to share in the chat y'all progress, please feel free to do so. I'm going to be talking about that later on in the live, or we will. But if y'all want to start sharing that, since y'all are here now and others will join later, when I bring it up then, feel free to do so. I do want to remind y'all that my 3-year podiversary giveaway, the last day to enter is tomorrow. You have till the end of day Central Standard Time. So if you haven't gotten your entries in yet, get them in now before it's too late. So with that being said, I want to welcome everybody that is here now. And I also ask my moderators, please help me with greeting people so everyone feels welcomed. And also it may take me a while to greet somebody joining us. So I just want everyone to feel welcomed. So I'd appreciate it for that mod help on that. I lost my train of thought. Jane, help me.
No, where is your train?
Frank was laughing at me over that today, and he told me, you don't just get distracted. You get completely off course, and it's true.
Well, I think we all do a little bit of that. So.
But that comes with who I am, so just forgive me for it. What was I saying? Mod help. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah. So welcome those here now. And I also want to welcome those that will be watching on replay. Those watching on replay, please leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know you watched. And regardless if you're here now in the chat or on the replay, feel free to, if there's anything that you want to say, either leave a comment in the chat or in the comment section. All right, so let's get started with the greetings. Howdy, howdy. So Jane, how are you today?
I am good today, I think. I'm hanging in there.
All's good in Jane's world. Oh, wasn't that like a show or something? Something Jane's World? It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does sound familiar. I don't think I ever watched it, though.
I didn't either. I just remember it. Oh, can everyone hear me okay? I want to make sure. You hear me okay, Jane?
I hear you okay.
Okay. Because the Yarnaholics Live, I had audio issues. I sounded underwater. I was so disappointed. And I think I know why. Because with my new lighting system, I had my mic here plugged in to like the electrical socket. And I even tested before the live and it peaked at the top. So I thought everything was fine, but then something happened after I got on the panel that it wasn't.
Yeah, who
So
knows?
I try to be aware of that more now. I'm working on trying to get that, but then I think there's going to be a delay where it's going to take me another month. It has to do with like the I changed my payment method in YouTube AdSense and I boo booed. So I gotta wait till the following month. But it's coming. It's coming. I promise. I am working on fixing it. All right. So let's see. We have Dawn, Marshall. Oh, I already graded. Sorry. And Amy. Those are already graded. We have Chris that joined us, Linda, Tiffany. Let's see. Okay, Chris is saying, and Linda says, okay, good, good, good. Me and my audio issues. All right. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and let Jane tell y'all some about her story, her issues, journey. Um, I may ask her a few questions along the way, and if y'all have questions, y'all can ask. But please keep in mind, you may be asking something she's not comfortable talking about, and this is a very sensitive subject. So if she says that she's not comfortable answering something, please, y'all, respect that. All right, take it away,
Okay.
Jane.
Now, growing up, I always thought that I was a chubby child, and I was kind of chubby, but not really overweight. My mother was born a type 1 diabetic. So I watched her struggle with weight, food issues my entire life. Now, when I got into high school, I think I weighed 135. And even then, I thought I was way overweight. I thought I was humongous, and I'd kill to be 135 today. I'm not. At my
Me
highest,
too, Jane. Me too.
yep, for my highest point, I was 360. I am down now to 260, but that has been over probably 30 years. Back in 2003, and I had gestational diabetes, but once the babies were born, the diabetes went away. Um,
Can I interrupt you just a second?
yeah,
My highest, and this is hard to own, 442.
yeah. And those are hard to say sometimes, those words, because I don't like people to know that I was 360 at one point.
But
Uh,
it also can be freeing when you own it.
yep.
You won't be you lose that embarrassment about it.
And that's the big
It's
thing is
weird.
owning it helps a lot in that weight journey. Now, my weight journey was up and down. I've tried all kinds of things. I had at one point tried Herbalife. That was a disaster. Um, Weight Watchers, tops. I think I've been run the gamut of all the different things. I once had a doctor that gave me pills, and I can tell you, after the first week, I was outside. I was hanging up my children's laundry to dry, and I was singing at the top of my lungs, I am so pissed at him and I don't care. And I realized I was high as a kite. It was doing nothing for me to help me lose weight. And at that point, I said, that's it. No, that's dangerous because I knew it wasn't healthy. So I started on this journey to learn a little bit more about things that I was doing that was damaging my health. My health was up and down. Gotten to a point where I was starting to lose weight, Things were going well. 2004, I woke up one morning. I ate Cheerios for breakfast, and my stomach, there was such pain in my stomach. I didn't know what was going on. And it just kept getting worse and worse. So Thomas at that time thought, maybe it's appendicitis. We went to the emergency room. They couldn't find anything, but my blood sugars were 575. Now, I hadn't had any problems with diabetes because as a home health nurse, when I went out to teach someone, I would teach them how to check their blood sugar by checking my blood sugar. So I was doing that on a daily basis anyway. So I knew my blood sugars were okay all along. And of course, with the doctors, things were fine, no issues. So, it's like, okay, we don't know what's going on. This is when we were in North Carolina. So they got me into the clinic at Chapel Hill to see the doctors and said, if you have any issues, in between that time, come back and see us. 2 days later, I was throwing up, all kinds of issues, went back to the emergency room. And as I was sitting there, I'd been waiting in the emergency room, saw the same doctor who saw me the first time, and I had burped. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." She goes, "What?" I said, "I'm sorry, that smell because of the breakfast." Because once again, I'd had Cheerios. And she said to me, "What time did you eat those Cheerios?" I said, 6 a.m. She said, "It's now 1:30. You have gastroparesis." Now, it took another year and a half to get the actual final diagnosis that yes, I did have gastroparesis. But in the meantime, gastroparesis, some of the things you see are you are extremely nauseous 24/7. You feel like you're starving to death, but you want to eat, but you don't want to eat because you're so nauseous. And when you do eat, sometimes it doesn't stay down. And I had that going on for that year and a half. In the meantime, I was losing weight so fast. Um, the GI doctor was scared. You know, in 1 month, I had lost 52 pounds, and that was just from the gastroparesis. We finally got it, and at that time, they started me on a medication, which in the US, let me see if I can put this delicately enough. It's used for lactation. So mothers whose milk won't come down, they give it to them so that their milk will start flowing and they can produce milk for their babies. And I can remember telling my GI doctor, does this mean I'm going to start nursing? Because my children are grown. And she said to me, well, if worse comes to worse, you can give it to Leleche, you know. Luckily, I didn't have that issue, but the medication helped quite a bit to solve that. I was on the medication for about 2 years, and then in the US, they determined you couldn't have that medication unless you were on some kind of medical study. The doctors at the hospital were not doing a medical study. They didn't want to write a, a, a big grant, thing to get on a study. And the funny thing is, this medication is used and has been used in Japan for gastroparesis for over 65 years. This was in 2008. So you add all those years, yet in the US, they don't consider it a treatment for gastroparesis. But my gastroparesis was so bad at one time, they were talking about doing a small bowel transplant because I was having cardiac issues due to the nutrition issues. That all settled down. They took me off that medication, lactation medication, started using Reglan to curb that. And then they were discussing about whether or not they were going to do in, insert an electronic stimulator in my stomach. Gastroparesis means your stomach stops doing the churning to process your food and break it down. So you can't have anything that has fiber because it will make you sick as a dog and you will, toss cookies. So for the longest time, the reason I was losing so much weight was because I was eating Ensure baby food. That was all I could tolerate. Um, and that gets kind of old after a while. But now I'm back to where I can eat regular foods. But what I found is because I have fibromyalgia, the things just didn't, my body hurt all the time. And what I found through this and through a lot of discovery, and the diabetes still hasn't gone away. And that they tell me that was caused by the gastroparesis and then gaining weight and losing weight and all that nonsense. Um, which, I do know that through all the study and research I've done in it, that that's what's happened. So basically, I learned along the way that the things that don't work for me are high carbohydrates. And and I'm going to put this out there, even though I'm a retired nurse, and even though I know and have gone through so many programs with dietitians, there's a certain level that they give you of carbohydrates that they want diabetics to aim for. And I think it's too high because even when I followed that, my blood sugars were out of control. For me, what works is what I call a keto diet or a very low carb diet, dirty keto, basically, if you want to do that. There are some times that I go wild because I've been on that and so strict with myself. I've not allowed myself something as simple as a piece of fruit, because I was afraid it was going to throw me into a fibro flare. But I've learned over the years that I can handle small amounts of fruit here and there, and it's no big deal. But I will tell you, it took a lot of practice and for a long time. And I'm going to suggest this. I took a notebook and I logged everything I ate, every blood sugar, how it made me feel, along with everything else. But I also learned that I had a lot of food issues because of the things I saw my mother struggle with, the way that I had tried to lose weight, it didn't work, issues in my life that I was bearing with food. So that that was a very long process. And now I'm back to where I am losing weight. It's slower than I would like it to be. There's times I think, oh, I wish the gastroparesis would come back and I could lose it fast, but I know that's dangerous. So I don't want that. So yeah, it's been a long process, and a lot of it is learning what works for you personally. You know, so that's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Awesome. And probably a lot of y'all can relate to what Jane's saying. I know I can. I mean, so much she was saying, I'm just sitting back here like, been there. I mean, yeah, our stories are different in certain aspects, but if you look at the core, and
Yep.
really, when I first started talking about my weight struggles on my channel, the people that would contact me, sometimes it was a comment on a video, or they would email me or message me on Facebook Messenger telling me it felt like you were telling my story.
Hmm.
And and most of us are embarrassed, ashamed of these things. It's
Yeah.
hard to talk about. And I've been weighed down by this for most of my adult life. And I'm 48, almost 49 now, and I'm like, no more. I'm talking about it because by talking about it, it has helped me. It's freeing, you know. And then, especially when I know I'm helping others in the process, it's like it makes me realize this stuff needs to be said. It's important because a lot of people go through this very same struggle.
Right.
And I really feel like,
And they
you know,
hide
like
it.
exactly, you stuff your feelings, which becomes an issue. It contributes to overeating. So much factors in. And this is the side of things that I'm trying to talk about that when you go to like weight loss support groups like Weight Watchers, Tops, Overeaters Anonymous, don't get me
I,
wrong, there's a lot of good and they help. They do help because a lot of times this journey, you can't do it alone. You need a little help from others, friends, whoever you feel safe with. You know, I mean, like, I can talk about it more than probably a lot of you can to somebody. I've gotten to that place in my life because others haven't, and that's okay. I just want to help others with this struggle. That's my purpose. And I feel like that's what Jane wants to do too.
yeah,
Trust us, we've been there. But that's what this is about. And if I can make a difference in one person's life, it makes me realize what I went through was worth it. It made a difference. You know. All right. I am seeing I have a new Stitchin Alien member. Timmy Twisted Zones. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So I'm gonna play my little Stitchin Alien member video real quick. I gotta find it first. Where is my video? Okay, here it is. All right, Timmy, what I need you to do is send me an email at just another stitch 2020 at gmail.com because with becoming a Stitch and Alien member, you get 5 patterns from my Ravelry store for free. You get to pick which ones. And anytime I release a new pattern, if you're still a current member, you will get that pattern for free. But I do ask, email me when I release patterns so I don't get the forgetsies on you. So, and even like, this, I think I have your email, but still email me so I know I have it. And it's a reminder to me not to forget to send them. And before I move on to what I call chat time, that's what I'm going to start calling it, chat time, where I start, I read what everyone's saying in the comments. But I'm also, if y'all notice, like today, I'm trying to like type in the chat too to kind of more to answer questions or tell people hi. Especially when my guest star is talking because I don't want to interrupt them. I try my best not to. I mean, sometimes I may have a question for them where I'm kind of like, hey, or something I feel is important to chime in. But I'm trying to be better with stuff like that. More organized, a better flow to my lives. Let it flow. Oops. All right. So, oh, that, see right there. I got sidetracked. Like Frank says, I got off course. But I did want to mention if y'all want to know more about my weight struggle story, I did do a video a while back. It was about 9 months ago. I have a playlist. Any video I make to do with weight loss, you know, motivation, some form of like weight struggles. I have a playlist. I think I called it something like weight loss motivational videos, something like that. And there's a video titled My Weight Struggles. And if one of my moderators can find that video, drop it in the description box, the link. But that's where it is if you're interested. All right, moving on to chat time. Chat, 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 chat. All right. Where did I leave off? And I try to do it like in intervals where I know I won't lose the comments in the chat because at a certain point, you can no longer go back that far in the chat history. All right. Okay, Crystal says with Divergent Crafter, she's going back on her diet today. Now, I will say one thing, I don't like the word diet. So you won't hear me say that word. Um I feel like it's a journey, it's a lifestyle change. I find those are kinder words.
Not
So
only
those are the words I tend to use for. There's certain words I don't like. Like I don't like the word fat. I try not to use it, and I cringe. Like because like if I say fat shaming, because I feel like in that reference, there's no other word for it. You know, and it's like just saying that I'm like, I don't like that word.
not only that, but the word diet has die in it.
Good point. And it's not to be like mean or offensive or anything, but that's just my personal feelings on
Yeah.
that word. But anyway, I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and you can do this, Crystal. Think positive.
Yep.
Um, you know, I'm here, and probably Jane feels this way too. You know, if you need a little help, someone to talk to, we're there for you. Um, just send us an email. It
Yep.
doesn't have to be a public thing.
Or Messenger, Facebook Messenger. You know,
Mhm.
either one for me.
But one thing I will say when it comes to Facebook, I don't have a problem with Yorny Friends being my Facebook page, but I'm not quick to approve friend requests because those that like, you've got those people that will form duplicate accounts,
Oh yeah.
hackers, or their whole purpose this is to sell you something. And most of the time, you have no interest or it's out of your price range or whatever, and you're just like, no, leave me alone. You know, if you want to be friends, fine. But if your whole purpose of friending me is to like, say sell Avon to me, I'm not going to approve it. And I go and look at profiles to kind of try to see, you know, if you're a Yorny person. And I've learned, because at one point I would see that someone was friends with another Yorny friend. And I'm like, oh, it's just a Yorny friend. Approve.
Yep.
No, no, no. They're the type that go around. They find one person, they look at their friends list and start approving friending everybody. So
Hmm.
that means nothing. The best thing to do when you send me a friend request is to send me a message, and I know it will go in my folder where I don't see it quickly, but I do try to check it on a fairly regular basis, and then I'll know you're legit. Just kind of say something so I know you're legit and not one of those. Or like Jade has the
Oh,
fun of experiencing the guys
I'll,
that like
I'll friend them all till I find out they're scammer and just razz them. So,
this is something we have in common. Like when we get those people that kind of fall in those categories, we mess with them.
oh, big time. I feel like they deserve it.
We don't give them any information where they can like, hack us and stuff like that. But like, we kind of make them feel like they're being successful because you're responding. And then
Mhm.
we just start like me, I talk about some off the wall things. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
tell them things like my husband left me, and I'm sorry for anyone that's in this boat. You know, I have like 10 kids. I have a baby on the way, and ask them if they'll help support me and my kids.
Be my sugar daddy.
Yeah, I've even asked them that. Will you be my sugar daddy? Because I figure they're trying to
Yeah.
scam me.
Well, and
So I
that's
just kind of I mean, I'm not actually trying to scam them. I just reverse it on them to be like sending a message. You're barking up the wrong tree.
yeah. Sometimes they've even told them that you're barking up the wrong tree. I have no money. Sorry, I don't know why you're coming to me. You
They would
need to
do
be.
stuff like that. But I know like some people are in difficult situations. I didn't mean it like, it's just kind of like I think y'all see my point with it.
Yep.
All right, back to chat time. We have Tank here. Let's see. Do, 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 do. And then Sonya's saying that, she has some extra weight she wants to get off because it puts pressure on her spine. I,
Yep.
I know I can relate. Okay, Jane can too. Because most of y'all know the last 3 years, I've had a lot of issues with my back. That was a reason why sometimes I couldn't go live, canceled my live, or couldn't get content out to y'all. I, I'm not 100%. I would say I'm about definitely 75, but I think it's closer to 90%. Because I do still have a few flare ups occasionally. Usually weather causes it.
Hmm.
Um,
And
but
here's another thing: excess weight sometimes causes issues with arthritis to flare up. I mean, granted, we're all eventually going to get arthritis. It happens because of the wear and tear on our bones.
I have it in my back. That's part of my problem.
That's part of mine too. But you, the excess weight aggravates arthritis, period. So, whatever you're doing to try to help to get that off is, even if it's 5 pounds, it's going to be a tremendous help. And here, I have a tip. If you've fallen off your wagon, your lifestyle plan, don't beat yourself up. Just get right back on it. Just go back to it.
Exactly.
And here's another thing. I love these little menu things, I always have. Sometimes just planning what I'm going to eat for the week. I may not stick to it, but I'm more likely to follow it if I know I have a plan. If I don't, I'm more likely to just what comes my way. And sometimes it's
That
not good for me.
that may be our topic for next month because I used to be really good about meal planning,
Mhm.
and that is something very, very helpful. I probably should start back doing it. Um, that way you're not all day, during the day. What am I going to eat today? What am I? It's planned out for you, and it also helps keep you on track too. With your eating in general. But yeah, I mean, all those things.
Yeah.
So so true. And there was something else I wanted to say, and I lost my train of thought. Maybe it'll come back to me. Oh, it's not your fault. I do it when I'm talking. I have a train of thought, and it's like it's all of a sudden like I'm going somewhere else. But
Oh,
yeah, but I can definitely relate to what you're saying, Sonia. It's taken me 3 years to get some of it. Was getting my weight off that helped. Some of it was physical therapy. 3 times I did physical therapy. 3 times. The first two, I didn't feel like it really did much of anything for me. I think certain techniques they used this time worked for me. They did cupping, they did the tins machine. And I also asked them, like, because I wanted stretches. And and I knew some stuff to do with, back stretches, but I wanted like a physical therapist point of view on it. And she made suggestions, and she would usually, about 10 minutes of physical therapy was stretching from my back. So I think that approach helped me. I noticed a big difference. But it's like, yeah, I can move that. And those of y'all that watch the Yarnaholics live Thursday evening, me and Lisa with coping with yarn. I think that's her channel. Like coping with. Oh, gee, I can't believe I can't remember quite for
Oh,
sure. Yeah, normally it comes right off my mouth like naturally. But anyway, we were having fun trying to make everyone laugh with our dancing in the background. And that's something normally you wouldn't see me doing. That was big that I did that publicly on a live like that. But it was like, I feel good. Do, 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 do. She's probably like, oh, Connie, you're getting crazier.
that's on my list to watch next.
I'll tell you, it's towards the end of the live that we start really doing this. Like when Crystal gets into the giveaways, Crystal, the Yorny Chicken and Crazy Cat Lady, that's who the live is on her channel. Um, I think it's about around like the 1 minute, 8, 9, 10 minute mark where we start doing it. And it's kind of like it goes on for a good bit until I get up to go grab Buddy, so Buddy can make his guest appearance. All right, let's see. Crystal Divergent Crafter. We have different crystals that pop in on my lives. I've had 5 in the same live before. My best results have always been high protein and low carb. My body automatically puts carbs on my hip, and really, I believe in those practices. I mean, everyone does different things, and what works for one person may not work for another. But you really should try to gravitate toward lean proteins. Um, and like an example of a lean protein is boneless, skinless chicken breast, um, pork loin. And sometimes the label will say it's a leaner cut of meat. Like when it comes to ground meat, what were you saying?
Ostrich. It's the other white meat and it tastes like steak.
Never tried it.
Uh, yeah, I had a friend who raised them and they used them in the recipes in their restaurant. So if you wanted beef or chicken or pork, you actually had to ask for it to be substituted in. But and now, of course, where I'm at, I can't find ostrich, but it's delicious. So and it's lean.
Take your word for it. But don't knock it till you try it. But another thing too, like when it comes to like ground meat, ground beef, look for the leaner cuts. Like I usually get the 93% lean. That's the highest lean percentage I can find in my area. Your area may go leaner. Um, or ground turkey is an option, but I know some people don't like ground turkey.
I have another suggestion. Ask at your grocer if they will grind up chicken breast for you. I have a grocer here. You contact them and let them know you want ground chicken breast, and they will ground it up for you. which is a good substitute for the beef as well. I know at times I also used to mix ground beef and turkey, ground turkey.
That's
Be-
another.
Mhm.
See, like it used to be Frank would eat ground turkey, but for some reason it started upsetting his stomach. So we kind of had to compromise on it. So now I get the 93% lean ground beef when we have ground beef. But reading your labels is important. You can talk to the butcher at your grocery stores. There's specialty meat places that most towns have that you can also talk to them, and sometimes they can do like, I like sausage, but it's very, very, very high in sodium. But you can get it specially ordered where it's way, 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 way lower in sodium.
Mhm.
Now the place, and actually it's pretty much like right up the road, like it's walking distance. You basically walk to the beginning of my street, cross the little highway, and go a little diagonal, and there it is. Um, and I've ordered from them, but the thing with them, you gotta order so much at a time. So some may make you order more. That's why I don't do it often. Like if I could get a couple of pounds here and there, I would, but I haven't discovered anywhere in my area where I can do that.
And I've also made my own ground sausage using ground pork.
Mm.
So that helps too.
You can do that. You can use chicken.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be the fatty sausage that they use when you buy it in the grocery store. Making your own. There's so many options, and I'm noticing the time. Um, I know there's comments and people I haven't greeted yet. Um, I'll
Crafting
try to
adventure.
get you. I may kind of while we're talking try to type your responses in the chat. But it's not that like I'm leaving you out or anything. It's just time, and I'm trying to cover certain things on this live. So I feel I need to move on. But anyone joining us that I haven't greeted yet, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Pull up a seat, grab your coffee, and enjoy the live. that southern hospitality. All right. So now, oh, I have a special video to play for y'all. Guess whose birthday it is today? The Biscuit. You want to come say hi again?
Hi, everybody. Bye, everybody.
And at first, I wanted to do this, like, I was trying to do this little video where it was actually me and Frank singing. And I was using like a filter to speed up our voices where we sound like the chipmunks. But I kept getting too much static. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use YouTube music. But I had a cuter idea in mind. But let me play the video, and I shared some of my favorite pictures of the biscuit here. All right, hold up. I need to take my banner off. I always forget to remove my banner, like when I put my email up. All right, it's showtime. Oh, and that goat in one of the last pictures, that goat at the zoo loved him some biscuit. And I tried to pet it, it kept headbutting me. All right. So I have gotten a few pictures from people that some of y'all know about this. I have this weight loss make along, or really you could kind of call it a challenge, where you make a piece of clothing. And when I say a wearable, I mean something that size matters, where if you gain weight, it'll no longer fit you properly or anymore. Been there. Or if you lose weight, you could, fit into it. If it's like, say, and you can go at whatever, maybe set a mini goal, maybe it's your ultimate goal. That's up to you. But basically, at least one size smaller than what you're currently wearing. And it's to motivate you to get there. And I have a video for this. And this is an ongoing make alone challenge. It's not like there's an end date to it. Anytime, you finish it, send me a picture. I share it in a live. At some point, I may do a video if I get enough pictures, and like a regular, kind of like my finished projects video, that type of video. But at this point, I haven't gotten enough pictures. So I do have that. And again, if one of my moderators can find the link for that video for my weight loss make alone, it's in that same playlist, to do with, weight loss motivational videos. If y'all can drop it. If not, it's in that playlist. The Biscuit's making some noise. I don't know if y'all hear them. But that's basically the point of it. I mean, it could be crochet, it could be knitting, it could be loom knitting, it could even be sewing. But I'm not talking about something like a shawl or a hat that's kind of a wearable. I'm talking about like a shirt, sweater, cardigan, maybe even pants or something, or a skirt or a dress, that type of thing. All right, so let me pull up those pictures. And while I'm doing this, I do want to mention Pamela with Green Stick Cottage. She was a guest star on a previous weigh-in with Connie Live before I made Jane a regular. And she had started one for this, make along. And she's doing amazing. And over the time it took her to make it, she got too small for it. So isn't that amazing? I was like, way to go. And I love hearing those stories. And I want to hear, when you're successful. And, you can, I don't want to share something if you don't want it shared. But like, say you want, you're like, I'm okay with you to share it. Let me know, either like, please don't share this, or feel free to share. So, and one thing with this journey too, I also want to hear about it when you fit in that item you made in a smaller size.
Let's all celebrate.
Celebrate tonight. Come on. And really, and this is the time, share in the chat those that feel comfortable, your victories and your non-scale victories. Maybe you have a struggle, you can talk about that if you're comfortable. But again, if you're not comfortable talking about it privately and you feel comfortable emailing me, talk about it, just send me an email. All right. Give me just a minute. Pulling up pictures can always kind of be
hard.
Yeah. Because you got to have it like just so. All right. And I feel like it don't like go as fast. Like when you trying to shift pictures. Right. Okay, first we're going to share pictures that Colleen with Grammy Colleen crochets shared with me on her make? Okay. Okay. Actually, I should be able to do, just because it's letting me where I can pull the next picture after. And I think either she got into it or it's very close to fitting her properly. And by now she may actually be into it. But I feel like making a piece like this that's time consuming, that's a lot of work. You want to get into that picture. I mean that item, that picture. All right. Now this is Michelle with let me see. Michelle, I think it may be just Michelle or Michelle U, aka Yorny Disaster. But this is something that she made. And Michelle, if you watch this live, if you've gotten into this now, let me know. And when you do, let me know. Oops, let me go back to the last picture where it really shows it. So yeah, if y'all want to start doing this, come on, join in.
Or even maybe making something in size smaller to
Mm-hmm.
fit in eventually. I hadn't thought about that. I was thinking about as I was going. Huh.
But yeah, you can stepping stones, maybe make something one size smaller, then you get there, make something the next size smaller. I mean, yeah, but these wearables are more time consuming to make, and some of
Mhm.
us are faster than others at making these items, so that all weighs in. But the important thing is, or maybe do like, you know I'll call it two sizes down. But normally, like clothing with women, it's like 11, 12, 9, 10, where it's actually two sizing. But say you wear like a 11, 12, maybe do like a 7, 8, if that's where, you want, some of us will pick different and we're all built differently. Several things factor in, you know, and just because you're what the doctor says your ideal weight, maybe that's not right for you. Maybe you need to set it higher. You know, it's all about progress, and getting healthier.
Yeah, I mean, that's like with my doctor, if you use some of those weight things, charts they have, at my height, I'm supposed to weigh between 100 and 105. I guarantee you I would look like I was a starving child out of Ethiopia. I know that, because I have pictures of me at different weights when I was younger, and about 120 was good. 125 to that 135 was excellent for me. So, don't follow those weight charts. Don't follow the BMI charts, because you got to remember Tom Cruise is overweight according to the BMI.
Hmm.
And he typically
And
helped.
some of those weight charts are say different things, because I know
Right.
if I go and Google it, it will say one thing. And actually, whenever I did Weight Watchers, their chart was a little higher
Hmm.
than, like, letting you weigh a little more than some of the charts I've seen in the past. But I know,
Right.
like, Weight Watchers for my height says between 115 and 135. I don't know if I can get in that range. One thing, especially when you got a weight to lose, and you're more than likely going to experience this. Exercise does help, but
Hmm.
even whenever, like, I lost a lot of weight and I was exercising regularly, I didn't have it as bad as some people, but I still had it. Excess skin,
Yep.
and that makes you weigh more. That's one thing,
Yep.
because, like, my current clothing size, if it wasn't, typically if it wasn't for that, I'd wear a size smaller. So accept that. Now if you don't have as much weight to lose, then you probably won't have this problem.
Yeah, see, I know I'm going to have that problem,
Me
you know.
too.
And of
And
course, there are surgeries that can fix that,
yeah,
but right now they're still considered elective, so you got to be able to pay for it.
and it's also a major surgery.
It is a major surgery. I know someone that just recently had it, and basically she said they cut me in half, basically. And I've cared for patients who have had it, and I'm telling you, the care that I was giving these patients, I don't know how they tolerated it. And I'm a wimp. I don't know if I could. So I may just be carrying around a lot of excess skin.
And
Slapping it in some kind of Spanx.
one thing with me before I put weight back on after my last weight loss, you know, where I lost a lot of weight. But the one thing is, I never gained all my weight back on that one. So that was huge for me. Even though I put a lot of it back on and I spiraled out of control, progress is progress.
Yep.
So you learn something even when you feel like you fail. Don't beat yourself up. Love yourself. um. Oh man, what was I saying? Oh, it's like I get frustrated whenever I lose my train of thought. um.
You're having an
Give
etch
me
a
a minute.
sketch.
Do you remember where I was going, Jane?
No.
Oh, gee. I'm hoping it
We're looking
comes to me.
at photos.
Oh
We're
well,
looking
let's move
at
on and hopefully it comes back to me.
okay.
Um. All right. I don't know either. You should still be a moderator, Chris. Is your blue wrench showing on your side? I don't see blue wrenches in StreamYard, so I can't tell.
Yeah, I don't see him all the way there either.
And I do see Doris is here. Howdy. Oh, and Mimi Cat's here. Howdy. Oh, and Joan. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I got it. Diamond Ring Girl. She's here. And my mail hasn't passed yet today, just so you know. Um, it's usually more later in the afternoon or in the evening when it passes. Um, and lately it used to be more consistent with our old mailman. Usually it was normally between 3:30 4 o'clock. Ever since he retired, it's been later. And lately, it's like even the guy that seemed like he took over the route, I haven't seen him around in like over a month. I wonder if he retired. Um, but I've been seeing all these new faces, which usually means later mail. Let's see. Okay, Timmy, I need to play catch up on my mail. It may not happen today, but hopefully tomorrow I get to my email because I know like from the Yarnaholics live, I still need to get the patterns out to my winners for that. I haven't forgotten y'all. I just haven't had sat down to do it or had the time to. Yeah, and sometimes too, eating smaller meals, and like eating 6 times a day, smaller meals helps. And really, they say that's supposed to help your metabolism. But yeah, yeah, yeah.
Plates.
All right. So let's
You know,
see.
smaller plates.
Mm-hmm.
That's an easy
Portion
one to do.
size. All right. One thing I want to do before I get back to what I call chat time. Um, my last live, I was meaning to shout out Miss C, and I put her information in the description box, so it was there, but I forgot to actually shout her out on the live. Miss C, I don't know if she has intentions of doing videos because she doesn't have any actual videos yet. she did her first live, I think, this past Sunday, and she's supposed to be going live this Sunday. I don't remember what time. Um, but if y'all can, go show her some Yorny love and support. Because when you get up here, especially your first few times, that's a huge step and it's hard. So if y'all can, show her some love and support. And if y'all, you know, and I do have her link in the description box. If so please check her out. And also, if one of my mods could drop her link too, that would be amazing. Oh, what's it called? Miss C's Cottage, I think is her channel name. I might be a little off on the name, but if you look in my description box, you'll see the actual, really, you could just click on that link and it'll take you straight there because I did that at thing. All right, so now it's officially back to chat time. But yes, Anya, back can be an issue. And another thing, especially those that have more to lose on their journey, and this is something that when I first heard, it was actually my stepmother that mentioned this to me. I looked at her like, huh, what are you talking about? Because you know how you always hear when you lose weight, it helps your back, that your back pain goes away. But you also get to a point when you have a lot to lose where you got to realize all that excess weight was a cushion to your back. That cushion's gone. Your your back can become more sensitive where it starts to hurt from that. And I experienced it. Where like sometimes I was sitting, it would start hurting and I would have to get up and move around. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but it is something, to be aware of. And another thing, because this is one reason why, like Pamela with green co- green stick cottage, I get the words confused. Um, like she's been very successful and has lost a lot of weight, and so far she's going in the right direction. Those are the people I pay attention to. I want to know what they're doing, you know because it lets me know, let me try this. And one thing she talks about a lot is rewiring your brain, and I do believe that's important.
Very
um
important.
it's kind of like you breaking your bad habits, and our brains, people that struggle with weight, you get that temptation food in front of you, we're prone to want to eat it. And unfortunately, a lot of times we do eat it. Where like someone that don't really have much struggle with weight, it don't tempt them.
Right.
That's in our brain wiring. You know, it's not because like what some people do. Again, I don't like using the word that you're fat or lazy. That's where there's a lack of understanding. When people don't have this struggle, they just don't understand it, and that's something in so many things. It doesn't even have to be weight stuff. Like people that are different from us. Like sometimes maybe someone has autism or Down syndrome, brain injuries is something. You may be thinking of something I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. But those type of things, mental illness is one, can affect somebody where they do things and you're just like, that's, and you don't understand. And that's where a lot of times people are unkind to them because they don't understand. But I always say, remember, they're people too. They have feelings. They get hurt. Choose words wisely. And we're all guilty. I mean, and a lot of times it's unintentional, you
Yep.
know, but I've been there, too many times. But I really try to strive not to hurt others because it affects others. You can either make someone's day or break it.
Yep,
I want to be the one that makes their day.
me too.
You know, I'm not trying to be like pointing fingers. You know, that's not where I'm coming from. All right. Chair exercises. Um, did you find that channel, Timmy, that I was referring you to? I tried to tag you in a comment on one of their videos, but I don't know if the tagging works that way. But if you couldn't find it, just email me and be like, "Hey, can you send me, that link?" And I'll send it to you. But send me an email so I don't forget. All right, Amy saying meal prep is her downfall. I do childcare and home, and I tend to nibble on the food for them, not what I should have. Mm, But this is a term in Weight Watchers, BLTs, bite, licks, and taste. They
Yep.
count. They add up. Be mindful.
Even if you're standing at the sink, it still counts.
And even when you do in portion sizes, when they say a cup of something, they mean level, not a heaping. And we're prone to just a little more. It still fits in that cup, but
It's still up.
that heaping cup is no longer a cup. Same
And
thing with
sometimes, and sometimes,
tablespoons, teaspoons.
and sometimes that cup, that heaping cup, adds about another 100 calories if you're not careful. You're a
Hmm
calorie
And
watcher. I have a
and I
friend
think
who's
that's sorry.
I have a friend
Didn't
who's
mean to.
a calorie watcher, so that's one of her things.
Didn't mean to keep interrupting you. I think you're finished, and I go to talk, and then it's like you say something. I'm like, "Oops, you're not finished." But like, I think that's something that eh, you know, that happens with Frank because, like, I mean, he has lost a lot of weight, but I'm losing faster than him, and sometimes he gets a little jelly there, and and I'm always telling him because he don't journal what he eats, even though me and our doctor tell him to. But and one time we noticed this. He was eating canned fruit, and I'm like, pay attention to that label, which is a topic I want to dive into. I don't know if it'll
Mm,
be a live or a video, but all these things matter. But anyway, like exercising. I am in the middle of making a video. I don't know when I'll put it out, but I do have some videos I've already recorded to do with like weight stuff. And I had started the one about exercise. And I got most of it filmed, and then I ran out of space on my memory card, and I had to transfer some files. So I'm gonna have to go back to finish that video, which will be why you'll see me wearing two different things in the video. It's different days. I'm trying to film more in advance where I'll film like 5 or 6 videos the same day, trying to get ahead of the game, but I still haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, meal planning is important. And that's probably going to be our topic next month. Um, so you're talking about me and Lisa had our laughing so hard on the Urinaholics live. I'm telling y'all, if y'all want a good laugh, y'all gotta see that live, and especially like I said, where we started doing that. It's not like every moment of the live, but we got crazy and wild in that live. But yeah, there's one that let me see if I can find it quickly. I gotta be careful because I don't want the video to play through my mic. Um, let's see, what is? I'm trying to remember the name of it. Actually, I know an easy way to find it because I like they play a lot of '80s music, which is one thing I love about them. Um, sorry, give me a minute. All right. Okay. Their name is Metro Physical Therapy. And let me, I'm going to try to pull them up completely. Okay. Yeah, I'm safe. Sometimes the intro videos, when you go to their channel, will play automatically. And that was my concern. All right. Let me pull it up for y'all. For those of y'all that are looking into chair exercises, Metro Physical Therapy. And they have what they call silver sneaker. And that's where you find, those things for that category. And if you notice, like here, Michael Jackson. So if you're a Michael Jackson fan, here's Motown hits. This is Beach Vibes. Let me get to their playlist. All right. Okay. Here's their playlist for their silver sneakers classes. And here's all the videos. See, here's Bruno Mars, if you like him. 90s mix. And they even have Beyonce. But I think there's more than what's in the playlist. I know there's more. But that just kind of gives you an idea. Because whenever I was having more back problems and even though I kind of kept falling off the wagon on exercise, I did one time do their videos and they were on my to-do list. I think I'm now where I can do like regular exercising where this shouldn't be, where I need to do chair. But I know there's those of y'all in this boat. So, and there's different things. Just Google, well, not Google, YouTube chair exercise and the search on YouTube. Now I'm going to pull up one of my favorite. I hope there's no back feed. This is a channel called Angie Fitness TV. I love her. And she does like a little bit of everything. Oh, I got to resubscribe. I'm subscribed to her on my like my what I used to use for my YouTube, and then I got off track with exercise, and I never subscribed to her when I started my channel. It wasn't like I meant to be unsubscribed. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, good. All right. I mean, she does a little bit of everything. Let's see. Step endurance. And I love step aerobics. This one is supposed to help with arthritis. Rebounder, which I think that's where you jump on that trampoline type thing. I can't really jump because my skin, that's one thing I wanted to mention with the extra skin. See, like I can't really do jumpy movements because you will hear my skin, like my stomach will flap and it hurts whenever that skin goes up and down. And no matter what size I get, that's going to be an issue for me because the only way to remove the excess skin is that surgery. And that's a major surgery and it's elective. Let's see. But like since I was doing her videos, I mean, she's gotten so much better, and like the way she does her videos, so I'm not as used to her videos like I used to be. I think she even does lives now for like an exercise class. Like here's a dumbbell and band workout that's more toning. Here's power walk. She has walking videos, which is more low impact. Strength training, cardio, you name it, she probably does it. There's that stability ball, which is good for like abdominal exercises, Pilates, and I think even yoga. You name it, you'll find it on her channel. Kickboxing. Um, yeah, here's body flow. That's like yoga type. I mean, I love her channel. I, for what I found, I feel like she's one of the best exercise channels on YouTube. But that is my opinion. All right, where are we on time? All right. We might go a little over 2 hours, but I'm going to try not to be too much. I think I've covered most stuff. We still have recipes to get into, but we could also just not get into the recipes if time's an issue. I really don't like to get into Granny D's live, so I try to finish before she starts. But I get it. Some of y'all will go over there, just tell her alien invasion. Some of y'all may hang around, stay with me, and wait until I'm done and head there. Again, alien invader. All right. Oh, Michelle's here. We were talking about you earlier. I was showing your make alone pictures for the weight loss thingy because I had never shared them before. Um, Skipping meals can be a thing. And one thing, and you know what's funny? And this used to not really be much of an issue for me, but there's been times I'll forget to eat. Frank fusses at me for it. Like now, I get busy and I will forget to eat. And sometimes I worry that I undereat, which I never thought I would like go the opposite direction. And I know that's not healthy. And it's not like I'm doing it intentionally, but undereating is unhealthy too. um, Chris is saying he's not a fan of pork. You know, we all, not all of us like eating the same thing. Oh, Doris is saying duck tastes like beef. I don't think I've tried duck. I've tried alligator that tastes like chicken.
Really?
I'm from Louisiana, girl. Oh, that reminds me. All right, let's see if I can pull this up. Give me just a minute. It's on my personal Facebook that I shared it. I saw it. I saw this on Facebook. I know Jane saw it because we were talking about it right before the live. All right, give me a minute. I'm saving it so I can pull it up. And those are y'all that are from Louisiana or been to Louisiana will probably understand this more. But this is so true. So true. All right. Give me a second. Window. Y'all, South Louisiana is about to experience an Arctic freeze. True. We're gonna get some really cold temps Monday and Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. I'm gonna be miserable Tuesday. I'll be under the blankies. Anyway, my question is, when we wake up and put salt on our driveway, do we add garlic and onion powder and Tony's too? Just wondering because we new to this, which we don't get that type of weather often.
Now,
Um,
is Slap Your Mama from Louisiana area too?
yeah, I believe so. Actually, yeah, yeah, it is. And Tony's is a popular
Mhm.
seasoning, especially in like South and Central Louisiana. I'm not as sure about up north. So my Yorny friends that live up north, let me know how it is up there.
I
Because
use it.
north is more different than the South and Central. They
Well,
actually get colder. They
I know
get colder.
you
Sorry.
can you can find Tony's in the stores up north all the time. So I know it's.
Really?
Hmm. Now, Slap Your Mama just recently started seeing it.
See, Tony's, I think, is actually made in Opelousas.
Hmm.
Yeah, Frank says it is. And basically, I live in Eunice. And if you go in that direction, it's Lawtell, which is a small town, then Opelousas. That's how close. um, but the thing is, for those that don't get this, we don't get the type of weather that we have to worry about putting salt on the ground very often. Um, and like when like Cajuns and the Creole cooking, the go to is salt, garlic, onion or onion powder, and Tony's seasoning. Tony's
Mm.
is very popular,
Yep.
and so we thinking of it from the food aspect.
And
Honestly, I saw that and I'm just busting out laughing.
which I told Connie in my area, if we're used to having that Arctic stuff coming in, like that 8 inches of snow I got, our first thing is snow sledding and ice cream, snow ice cream. So, yeah.
And then Crystal's mentioning about grass fed has higher levels of vitamin D. Um and and that is one thing that sometimes, certain things that are more pricey or actually healthier for you, but some of us that are on a budget, you got to compromise.
I'm on a budget.
Um and there are ways that you can still eat healthy on a budget. Kind of like frozen fruit and vegetables are typically cheaper than fresh.
Hmm.
Can I'm more leery of because of the stuff they add to it. And unless you're getting no salt added products, they pour in that salt, higher sodium. I'm noticing little things pop up on you, like just now the thumbs up and the balloons in the background.
Yeah, what is
Are
that?
you, huh?
What is that about? I have no
I
clue.
don't know. I've never seen it before. I thought you were doing something on your end, like some special
I don't know
effect.
what I'm doing because I'm just sitting here. When the balloons popped up, I'm like, uh-oh, am I intruding on Frake's birthday?
But I know StreamYard has added a lot of like new features,
Yep.
and I'm loving a lot of their new features. Which I just realized like yesterday, not yesterday, on the Yarnaholics live, th- there's a setting that goes deeper that you can adjust your volume. And I meant to do that. Hold up. Let me know if this makes me sound louder. When I Give me a minute. I haven't gotten there yet. Where's settings? I know I saw this somewhere. Oh, audio. Here it is. If I go up, okay, do I sound louder right now? Do I sound louder to you, Jane?
A little bit.
What about now? Jane, do I sound louder now?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to make it low.
Yeah, you're very low now.
Okay, it does work.
Wow.
See, I think I figured out what happened on the Urinaholics live because I normally I plug my mic into the computer. And because of my lighting system, I have to plug that in too. And I need a USB port, and there's only so many on a computer. And I made the mistake of plugging my mic into, into a USB port that connects to an electrical socket. That was why. Where now I'm like, okay, the light needs to go into that when the mic needs to be plugged into the actual computer. I figure
Mhm.
stuff out. But I still want to get a new one, a better quality. And I was looking, I was like, and actually, I may actually go a little more out of what I had budgeted because I want something really good, you know. And
Mhm.
I was noticing like some of them, there's like sound features. Like I can hit a button and like say I'm congratulating someone, maybe they want a giveaway, whatever, or like this live, you're giving me a victory. And I could be like, you know, a sound effect for clapping. I was like, this is cool. And it wasn't that much more. And I'm like, you know, I haven't made my decision yet, but I am eyeing it hard. I got research to do. I need to
Oh
pay
yeah.
attention to reviews. You know, I try to look at certain things.
I
Oh,
always look to see if the reviewer has left a video. Those help.
ooh. And
Yeah,
and
'cause
once
way
And one store reviews aren't always legit because I feel
right.
like if whoever you purchase something from makes it right, you know, stuff gets damaged in the mail. I'm sorry. And even in manufacturing, it happens. But it's if they make it right. It's when they don't make it right. That's what I want to know. Or if it's like everyone's saying, this is junk, this is junk, this is junk, don't buy it. You know, that's what I want to know, but it gets confusing because the 5 and 4 stores rave about the product, and then you read like some of the one stores, and you know you're just like, but I look for 4 store and higher. Yeah, and one thing too, some grocery stores will do more with like specialty meats, you know, or like sometimes you can make a request to them and they'll do it. Just talk to the butcher, you'll find out what they can do for you. All right. I did not get to greet crafting with the Gangas. I don't know their first name. Um, but even though I didn't get to greet you, howdy howdy late. Better late than never. And I hope you have an amazing day. Yeah, and you can grind your own meat. We have a grinder, and we've done it before. It's a lot of work. It's easier when someone else does it for you, but it's more pricey. Yes, spices, and especially if you have to watch your sodium, like me. Like I got like a lot of different spices that most people, an average person, wouldn't buy because a lot of these spices give flavor that that you make up for when you take the salt out. And of course, there's Mrs. Dash, and I noticed they now have that or what everything bagel seasoning, the salt free version. I used to make my own salt free one. Um, but they have it, and I got it the last time we did our big grocery shopping, and it's like, oh yeah, me and Frank both like it. Everyone's wishing the biscuit happy birthday. Yeah, whole foods. Stay away from processed foods. Two things, processed foods are full of salt. And the way that it's designed tend to make you eat more. It's easier to eat. Because one thing is most of us, if you're like me, you tend to eat too fast. Food is designed that way because you don't recognize when you're full, so you keep going goop, 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 and you don't recognize, like, hey, I'm hungry.
And
Um,
that's the salt that's used in processed food is a tri-salt. It is meant to it it is addictive. And sometimes they will add in sugar into that that makes it even more addictive, so you want more of the processed food.
chemicals. I mean, now I get it, it's hard, and I'm not completely there yet. Me, I tend to use sugar substitutes. I try to gravitate towards like stevia, but sometimes, it can be more expensive in certain products. You don't see it made with the plant based, you know,
Hmm.
sugar substitutes. And even I've read stuff that they're still not really healthy.
No.
Um, but you know, my saying is pick your poison. You know, and it's just some people can eat really clean, but try to go more in that direction, even if it's baby steps. Um, but anywho, oh, I see Samantha's here. Howdy, kitty magnet. Oh, expect Buddy in pretty much all my videos now, and most of my lives. He's got to make a guest appearance quite often, and he's now determined he wants to be a store. He wants to be like Grumpy Cat or one of those type of cats. But he's not grumpy like that. But he does have some little grumpy old man ways. He can get ornery. That's where he's like, yeah. Regina says she tries not to eat processed. Um, and like I said, anyone I miss greeting, howdy, howdy. I'm behind on the chat as usual. And I know there's some stuff that I wasn't able to get into because I'm trying to stick to a timetable. Trying. All right. Yeah, sometimes you can use like smaller size clothes for motivation. Um, it's like I'm gonna get back in this. Let's see. And I'm skimming comments, so like I said, I may miss something important. But if you said something important and I missed it, just type it again. Alright. Oh, Gloria's here. Hi, Gloria. Howdy. Oh, wow, you're doing amazing, Crystal. She's lost over 200 pounds.
Yay.
I think that deserves a dance party. Oh, and she's getting close to her goal weight. Awesome. You can do it, Crystal.
Right.
Just keep in mind the journey doesn't end when you get to your goal weight.
Yep.
Then you have to learn how to keep it off and keep it off. It's not like you get to your end goal of getting your weight off and it stops there. If you go back to your old eating habits, that way it's like, hello, I'm here again.
And it comes back faster.
Yes. Yes. And I gain weight fast. Some of
Like
that
a
too, my fluid retention issues. Regina talking about struggling with activity in the winter. I need to work on my activity. Because I really wouldn't say I'm exercising, and I talk about this in a video that will be coming out. Um, but I'm more active. But I know I need to start exercising. You know, like what I call more real exercise. Doing this on a regular basis, and then like slowly get taking it up. But I haven't gotten there where I've taken those steps. So I
those
need y'all encouragement and motivation to get me there.
baby steps. I have a friend who she knows she can't do 10,000 steps. So her goal is to walk around, just even in the house, for a total of 5,000 steps in a week and then build on that.
Hmm.
So those are some ideas to get you there. Just build
Fitness
slow.
trackers like
Hmm.
Fitbits, and there's other ones that can help. Pay attention to how many steps you take a day. Strive to get more steps in. Let's see, we have Lisa here. She's one of our lurkers. Welcome. Uh, yeah, muscle tone, because muscle can weigh more than fat. And really, you want muscle tone, and that's something. My muscles are weak. My health contributed to that inactivity. And because that was something that when some of the tests my doctor did on me, he noticed that that was a lot of my issues and that was contributing to my back pain.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And all of y'all can get to where y'all want to be. Just keep on trucking, keep at it. Um, dust yourself back up and be positive. Yeah, and you also got to be happy no matter what your size is. Love yourself.
Hmm.
And for those that don't know, if you type the word drop, like drop it like it's hot, but just drop. Mr. Nightbot will drop your channel link. Ooh, wait, way to go, Lisa's hubby. Okay, you've been paying attention to the tracking. Okay, okay. But I just wanted to let you know that. And I may not message you exactly when it comes in, but I'll try to make sure to email you sometime today after it comes in. All right. Okay, Lisa. I hope you have an amazing day. Oh, okay. Mrs. C's live, or Miss C, is at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And from what I understand, it's tomorrow, Sunday. And her channel link's in my description box. Yeah, sometimes just a little bit will get your metabolism going. Eating slower, you know. Like I'll be working on something and I'll take a bite or two and then do some more work, maybe 10, 15 minutes later, another bite or two. It helps. Oh, Laura Lee's here. Howdy. She's listening. Howdy, liquor. Basically, Diamond Ring Girl Tank has some Happy Meal coming my way. She told me about it. I have no clue what she sent me. I'm excited to see. And I will like do a video sharing it. It probably won't be me opening it, but I'll at least show it like at what it is. Yeah, building muscle helps with the cushion for your back. After you've lost a lot of weight. Yeah, stretching your back is important. I learned from experience. Um, and Tank may have. She has a link for easy chair exercise. And I don't know if that's the one I mentioned or if she found one, a different one to share with y'all. But those of y'all that are interested in chair exercises, check that link out. Yep, canned fruit bad for having added sugars. Look for no sugar added. Um, Same thing when you buy like fruit juices. But I wouldn't recommend drinking a lot of fruit juice. It's better to eat the actual fruit. It adds up and it's not as filling when you drink the juice. Because if you drink like 5 cups of orange juice, even if it's the no sugar added, that's probably about 500 calories that you're not even thinking about, and probably more because your cup is probably a bigger serving size. Because usually a serving size on labels typically is 8 ounces a cup, and like this right here, and that's about the size usually you see most cups, average cups. This is 16.9 ounces, which is 2 servings. Learn your serving sizes, pay attention to labels. And
They're
I talk,
important.
what's that?
They're important.
They are. Um, and I do talk about a little of this in a video that I've already recorded that's coming, but I do want to somewhere get in, talk about like food labels, like either just one video or on a live that's the topic. Another thing coming soon, and I think we're going to do this at the end of the month. If you're interested in this live, me and Lisa with Coping with Yarn are going to be starting kind of a collab. Um, I don't know yet if we're going to alternate channels because she has said she wants to start doing lives. But I know sometimes she has issues with her camera. So it may just be on my channel or we may alternate. We're still working things out. But when it's going to be, but it's coming and I will be updating y'all. Oh, Lori's here. Welcome. Welcome. And I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're enjoying it, and if you have any questions to do with my channel, feel free to ask. All right. She's wishing everyone success on their individual journey. And she wants to know what is everyone's opinions and feelings regarding not focusing on the scale numbers versus how you feel and what you're physically. I'm going to let you answer it first, Jane, and then I'll give my thoughts on it.
I think the way that you feel is a better indicator than the scale. The scale can lie to you, and we focus too much on the scale. We should go with what our body feels like. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
And I totally agree with that. That's what I was going to say. But I'm going to add a few other things. Pay attention to how your clothes are fitting.
Yep.
Are they getting looser? Do you look smaller? Because like all of a sudden now, like it seemed like it almost happened overnight. That all of a sudden I'm noticing in my videos, like my face and upper body looks so much smaller. Like you'll see something that seems like it just catches up with you, like boom.
Right.
Where when you see those big numbers dropping on the scale, you're not seeing it. So there's what you I call non-scale victories.
Yeah,
Those are important.
I have a lot of non-scale victories that when I was going through my closet this past week, I realized I'm gonna have to get the sewing machine out and fix a lot of those clothes or buy new clothes because I've noticed lots of times my bra shows. And that's because I've lost so much weight in that area, just in here and everywhere, that it's just massive on me. So, so yeah,
Like like the shirts I used to wear on videos, they're like a nightgown on me now.
yeah,
I
I have
mean,
those.
sorry, you had something else to say, Jane?
I have quite a few of those.
But yeah, I mean, there's different ways. Um, how you feel, how you're moving, health wise,
Less
especially
pain.
those with health issues. Are your numbers getting better?
Yep.
All that is part of the journey. And we focus too much on that scale. We really do. And this is something I struggle with. I When I'm losing weight, I become obsessed with that scale. I'll be weighing myself every day, which your weight fluctuates.
Oh yeah, big time.
And now and that's why like normally when I weigh myself, it's when I go to the doctor. I go by their scale. Now I will sometimes pull out my home scale, like especially if my doc, which this is a good thing because it shows my doctor's not so worried about me. But the longer in between going to the doctor, I do start worrying. What if I'm eating too much? Now I should not be eating enough to gain weight because we don't allow that in our house. Um, but I could start eating like where I'm not, my weight's staying the same. So I do want to be careful of that.
But also remember, muscle weighs more. So as you're moving, you're exercising, you are building muscle. So that's where the scale is an enemy because you may be building muscle, but you're losing in your body. The fat's going away, you're building up muscle, and it's going to show a weight gain, but your clothes are fitting better, looser.
Hmm.
So that,
So
that's why I don't rely on the scale.
I'm not going to say the scale doesn't have an importance, but don't fixate and focus only on the scale. And, that's something very, very hard for me. Very hard. So, there's other victories. And before I have a little video to kind of celebrate our victories, whether they're scale victories or non-scale victories, or sometimes just taking the steps of realizing this is something I want to do. I need to do this. Being here today could be a victory.
Mhm.
You know, don't focus on the negative. Find the progress. You're headed towards the right direction. Focus on that. But first I want to tell Regina um bye and to have an awesome day. She's probably already gone, but I just wanted to tell her that. All right. So let me play that little video. I need to redo this. I want to make this video better. All right. Like it mutes the mic when I play a video, and I wanted to tell Jay, "Come on, join." And then I saw her doing it. But yeah, And really, I need to change the wording on that because I really need to say it. Like non-scale victories are your victories, something like that. Because that's making me realize I shouldn't word it like I'm meaning the scale is more
Mm.
than the scale. All right, let's see. I have gotten like the shapewear to help with the extra skin, and it does help. What is an apron tummy tuck, Tank? I know there's like a tummy tuck. Is this like something different or?
Your belly, the belly part that hangs down over, that's called your apron.
Oh,
So
okay.
it, that part specifically.
Okay. Oh, and Crystal saying Thomas. I know I'm not going to say the last name right. Delower has great nutritional videos. And I don't remember if I greeted Maritza, but if I didn't, howdy. All right, let's see. Oh, and also Obese to Beast is a great nutritional channel. I'm going to have to check these channels out.
I know, me too.
And Lori says, that her scale is broken and it made her focus embrace overall health and ability to do things I couldn't do. I agree with all the recommendations. And that is so true because really it's about your health.
Hmm.
Being overweight affects your health. Maybe you haven't gotten to the point where you feel the effects of it, but
Yep.
I'm there. um But there was something. See, one thing, and this is something that's hard for me to say right now. I was over 300 pounds. My scale didn't go up high enough to weigh me. It's just now I'm just getting under 300 pounds. Go, Connie.
Yep. That's when I had to rely specifically on the doctor's scale because mine stopped. I mean, I laugh. I joked with Thomas about, well, it's time to do something. The scale groaned when I got on. Wouldn't even show me what I weighed.
And that's what forced me to rely on the doctor's scale. And I'm trying to stay doing that. And even now that the scale weighs me, I shake on the scale, so it's hard for it to like get my exact weight. You'll see it like fluctuate some. All right. All right, have a good day, Joan. Um you're welcome, Lori. And that's what these lives are for. I mean, I try to keep things as real as possible because more than likely, I've been there, done that when it comes to like weight struggles. I could write so
Yeah.
many books on it. Uh, oh, Amy's saying that she saw something about Granny D not going live today. She is fine. She is with Hannah today. Okay, okay. So now I don't feel so bad running into her time. But I do want to say though, Jane, if you can't stay, just let me know. I don't know what you have going on in your day.
I'm good.
I can wrap things up on my own and continue. Oh, I'm used to like typos, autocorrect changes. Sometimes people like, I'm not sure what they're meaning, but usually I just ask. Um,
In our family, we call it fat funger syndrome. Because you're trying to type on a little phone lots of times. Sometimes it comes out wrong, and I texted my son one time, it's the fat funger syndrome. He said, fat funger, is that like a fat finger? So we had a little laugh about that. So now we just call it's the funger syndrome. It
oh,
got
and
hacked.
sorry,
It
Lori's
got,
being motivating.
yeah, sorry. Go.
I mean, it happens. That's why I say I try not to talk over people, but no matter how hard you try, it still happens. Like I thought she was finished, so I started going, and she wasn't finished. She was just pausing. Um, but but yeah, Lori's being encouraging in the chat. Thank you for that, Lori. Uh, Crystal saying focus on one habit you want to change a month. It takes 28 days to create a new habit. True, true, true. And that's one thing I would love to have like as a guest on some lives. And I could probably even do this as a video because I can turn StreamYard recordings into a video. But some of y'all that are successful, that have lost a lot of weight, and especially those that have kept it off long term, I would love to have y'all as a guest or to kind of interview you. Maybe a live, it may be a video. All y'all got to do is email me, but I don't want to put anyone in the hot seat that's not comfortable with it. And I do try to, I do my best to respect if something comes up you don't want to talk about. I'll move on to another, I won't push because I don't want someone outside their comfort zone that isn't ready to be outside their comfort zone. That's not my agenda. Let's dance, Jane. Get that activity in. Dance party. And Crystal say if you're gonna have fruit, eat while
Mhm.
eat while fruit. That way you get the fiber and it's a oh, okay. I think she's meaning to eat the actual fruit.
Whole fruit.
Yeah, and fruit, even though it in a sense it's sugar, but it's a natural sugar.
Mhm.
Which if you're gonna eat sugar, that's where you want to get your sugar from.
And
And
your body can digest it better than it can the non-natural sugars.
and diabetics have to be careful with
Mhm.
sugar, even with fruit.
Yep.
Now some have to be more careful than others. It doesn't affect my blood sugar as much. It can temporarily spike it, but mine will come right back down. Um, Certain fruits spike it more. My doctor tells me to go towards berries,
Yep.
but like grapes will spike your blood sugar.
And that should
I think bananas are bad for it too.
even eat bananas anymore. Mm.
Melons can too. But each diabetic, fruit affects them differently. You know, so you just have to figure it out and talk to your doctor. But there are lots of health benefits from fruit. Vegetables, and vegetables are very low calorie. And vegetables, some of them well, I go by the older school Weight Watchers before like everything became a 0 point food.
Everything is a zero.
I don't agree with that concept. Yeah, those are the foods you should be eating in your diet, but you still got a portion control. There's like stuff like cucumber, spinach, lettuce. Um, if you think
Okra,
of one,
celery,
yeah, a
okra,
lot of times it's your greens.
mushrooms. Mm.
Those you typically can just eat on all day long and lose weight. That's what I consider free. And those are the foods you want to go to the most when you got the munchies. But even if it isn't in that category with vegetables, when you feel snackage, turn to vegetables and aim for that the most. If you have a sweet tooth, turn to fruit. That's Connie's advice. I know it can be easier said than done.
Well, and I'm going to tell you what I do when I'm really craving something sugary. Generally, I will have an apple with some peanut butter.
You know what's good?
It
Sorry, I
almost
didn't mean to
tastes
interrupt.
it almost tastes like it's a caramel apple. I don't know how to describe it. Doesn't matter what apple. It
It's
just
good,
oh,
but I stay away from peanut butter. But you know what's good and it actually can help with blood sugar? Apple with cinnamon.
yep, that's a
Like
good
just
one too.
take a fresh apple, just sprinkle a little cinnamon on it. Or now I don't recommend like when sometimes when you bake stuff, you're adding other stuff to it that can make turn it not as healthy. But sometimes like you can bake things a certain way where the only thing you're really adding to it is the cinnamon, and that's good too. But sometimes you got to use a little bit of like olive oil or cooking spray. But be careful with cooking spray how much you use. That it's oil. That you may not realize how many calories and stuff you're intaking by using them if you get too heavy on the spraying.
I had watched a video of this woman, and I want to say it was a maybe a reel on Facebook. No, it wasn't. It was a YouTube video. She had taken an apple and had just sliced it up, sprinkled some cinnamon on it, and sprinkled just one little packet of whatever her sweetener of choice was, mixed it up, put it in the microwave, or she said you could bake it even or air fry it for just a few minutes. She said it tastes just like eating an apple pie. And I thought,
Ooh.
I hadn't tried that. So,
You
yeah,
can you can dehydrate apples too. Add a touch of cinnamon.
yeah.
Um, Crystal saying she don't own a scale, and she says if I'm craving a sweet, I make a bork with Lily's chocolate, flaxseed, macadamia nuts, pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds. And sometimes, like say you have a craving for chocolate. Chocolate doesn't equal sweet. Like a lot of times, I'll get like the unsweetened cocoa powder, which I'm sure there are chemicals in it that probably isn't the cleanest, but there are other forms of chocolate that you can get that's unsweetened. You can mix it with other things, like maybe melt it in your yogurt, or you know some of y'all may have ideas. There's other ways to get your food fix on
Yep.
that's either healthy or healthier.
And I know that that bark that Crystal is talking about is really good. I've done that too. And I actually break it up into little pieces, put it in the freezer so that when I do have that craving, I can just take out a small piece, eat it, and I'm good. And that can be good for a week, not, going crazy with the sweet stuff.
Yeah, and like Weight Watchers, like they're kind of based on the philosophy. You can eat anything. You got to account for it. And really, like, and you'll find that your favorite dishes that people will say, "Oh, that's unhealthy. That's unhealthy." You can turn it healthy. It's
Yeah.
it's what you put in it, and there's healthier things. Which it's hard to tell you everything. Some stuff is a topic for a different day or a different video, but
Hmm.
it really sometimes you just got to do your own digging, your own research.
And
Um,
don't be afraid to experiment a little, even with spices. My
mhm.
son's favorite when we do that bark is to add a little bit of chili powder to that bark. And it's amazing the change and the difference, the flavor that it gives it. So,
And then like Crystal says, she don't own a scale, and she craves something sweet. She does the bork with Lily's chocolate, flaxseed, macadamia nuts, pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds. And then she says avocado oil is a healthier oil. Yeah. And then like, coconut oil is typically a healthier oil, olive oil. Um, those are the oils you want to gravitate towards using. Yeah, the unsaturated fats. You want to stay away from trans fats. That raises your cholesterol.
And remember,
Um,
if you are baking anything with oil that is above 325 degrees, do not use olive oil. Use avocado or even coconut oil,
I didn't know that.
because olive oil, the was it the heat point set is 325. After that, it changes it, denatures it, and it almost becomes a toxic product.
Ooh, good to know.
And
And you
I've
see, sometimes just talking like this, you learn something that you didn't know.
and
And
avocado oil's base point for their what they call that heat set point or the hot point, I believe, is 500 degrees. So you can use that for almost anything.
sometimes too, like baby steps. When you have a lot of changes to make with your eating, it can feel overwhelming. And sometimes you can't do it all at once. Sometimes you need to focus on one thing, like say you drink soda or a lot of soda. Cut back. Stop drinking the soda. Soda's
Drink
bad for you. Soda's
drink
very bad for you.
more
It's
water.
empty calories.
I
And
know
if
that
you
I did.
drink,
I know I didn't used to drink a lot of water, but what got me started drinking water was to add the flavor packets,
hmm
crystal, zero sugars. So now I've gotten to the point I've cut those back. Those are treats now, like soda used to be. And
hmm
now I drink a lot of plain water.
you
So, and
know,
I
so
be that way.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, there's stuff that I do that someone else is like, that's not good for you. The chemicals, but I'm not at the point that I can cut it, and I may never get there, but I'm being healthier. I'm making progress. Progress is progress. And like with soda's empty calories, kind of like juice can be. It adds up quick. you know you drink 5 sodas a day, and normally that one Coke is normally 2 servings, especially if you're drinking a bottle of Coke like this size. That's
Mhm.
2 servings.
And it
Soda
does
puts
have,
that weight on you.
and it does have
um
calories. Even diet has calories. Believe it or not, it's 5 calories per serving, even though it says zero, because the way that
mhm.
labeling is done, they can count it as 0 calories.
And one time I did Weight Watchers, and the leader brought that up. This is back when stuff was truly 0 point foods. Um, where those little things add up, like those little, Splenda packets, whatever, they still have a trace amount of calories.
Yeah.
You have like 20 of those packs in a day. That's like 20 calories. And they would always say, because Weight Watchers basically goes by a point system, or at least they did. I don't know what they're doing now. I haven't done it in quite a few years. And they change the program every year. But some of those 0 point items that were more true legit 0 point items, if you hit a certain level, it becomes a point.
Hmm.
And that's why I said, like when I mention Weight Watchers, if it's done correctly, it does work. But there's little things that they're not as quick to tell you. Some leaders will mention it, that that's where their business side comes in to make money.
Yeah. Well, and I will tell you, my GI doctor told me Weight Watchers is not good for diabetics, period. And she
And
basically
really,
stayed far away from it.
really, there is a truth behind that. Now they have changed the program where now they're more about um like the like stuff like lean proteins, eating more proteins, where it used to be based on calories, fat, and fiber.
Hmm.
But they cap and at one point they didn't cap the fiber. Then they capped it because people were taking advantage of it. Um, so that's what it was based on. Now, at least, well, they've made changes since. Last time I did the actual program, it was based on protein. I think fats still weighed in and sugars.
Yep.
So they have changed it where sugar, like stuff that used to be lower points on Weight Watchers, like your carbs and foods with sugar, are higher point now. So they have changed a lot of that. They've changed their focus. Um, but they change it every year. A lot of it's to make money, but some of it is stuff that they have discovered and they base it on that.
Well,
Um,
Crystal has it right. Weight Watcher is junk because, yeah, they don't really teach you healthful eating. They do help you with the mindset, what I've seen.
yeah,
But the biggest thing I've seen lately is they are pushing their products for you to buy.
and one thing too is they kind of push towards high sodium foods.
Hmm.
And that I'm like, can't have. So whenever the last time I did the program, I had to use their concepts, but low sodium foods. So there's still a way to get around some of like those type of things with it. Um,
Well, not
but
only, but it's expensive. I when I was doing it a couple of years ago, it was $45 a month.
they keep
Can you
going up.
imagine how much good food I could have been spending that $45 on that wasn't junk instead of spending it on a Weight Watcher meeting that I wasn't getting a whole lot out of? So there's pros and cons.
And the
But
thing is, oh,
you need
sorry.
it. If you need Weight Watchers and it helps you, go for it, you know?
And it has helped me in the past. And there's certain concepts I learned from it because even though I'm not actually doing Weight Watchers, I apply the portion sizes and
Hmm.
the eating more well balanced because you do need a little bit in each food group.
Hmm.
You know, even carbs, your body does need some carbs. You know, I know, like, and this is one thing, like, and I'm not trying to step on toes. Like, keto tends to go lower carb than most programs. I still feel like your body needs some carbs. This is my personal opinion. You
Hmm.
may disagree with it, and that's fine. Um, but so I don't, and I haven't, and with keto, I find it's higher sodium foods. So that definitely don't work for me.
And
And
and that depends because of what they tell you to use. I was telling you earlier, even some of the keto things to me are too salty. I'm not a fan of salt. I very rarely salt anything. And I found some of those things that they would suggest were way too salty. But there's a way to do it and lower the sodium. So, but they tell you to salt everything on a keto
mhm,
diet, and you don't need to.
we eat too much salt already, in my opinion.
Right.
But that's more of an issue for people that have like heart related problems, high blood pressure. And I've heard some other things, those that do keto. But that's just, we're gonna have difference of opinions. What works for me may not work for you and vice versa. But I always try to show respect for when people do something different, or whenever like we don't agree on something, you know. So I'm not trying to step on toes. And there are some things that I really strongly disagree with, and I'm always kind of like cringing on those things. But I'm trying not to say anything negative, but I usually just say consult with your doctor. And hearing talk about those certain things, I'm trying to be careful, because I don't want to offend or hurt someone's feelings or make someone get mad. But you're not
But
always going to agree with what someone else is doing.
but we also forget that even regular food, fruits, vegetables do have their own amount of salt in them. And a lot of people think having a keto diet is having no vegetables. No, you have vegetables. And I'm sure, as they told you probably with the cardiac issues, stay away from celery. It's high in sodium.
It is to a point,
Right,
but the thing is, it really depends on what all you're eating in a day.
right.
Because you can
Yeah,
have celery when you got to watch your sodium if you're not putting the salt in elsewhere in your day.
right,
It's a trade off, so you got to kind of fit it in. And I see what Crystal's saying, and I've heard people tell me that about how keto, like the way it processes sodium is different. But I'm personally not comfortable with that.
right.
It kind of goes against what my doctor tells me, and what I'm doing is working when it comes to those things. And my numbers are going down, my health is improving. So I stay with how I do it.
And it works
But
for you, so
what
keep on.
works for you? Awesome. I'm not trying to knock anything.
Right.
And I try to be careful when someone does something different than me, you know. But
Well,
sometimes my opinions will come out some.
let me tell you a little secret I told a doctor once when he kept telling me, this, and it's better for you, and this kind of stuff. And I would look at him and I'd say, apparently my body didn't read the same manual yours did. He looked at me and he started laughing. He said, "You know what? You're probably right." And so people have to find what works for them and to
Hmm.
follow, you know. And
Everyone's
if at
different.
some point it's not working for you, then you may just need to relook at what you're doing and see, maybe did I start sneaking in things that I shouldn't have? I mean, there's a lot of things you can learn. So, yeah, do what works for you. We have to be comfortable with what we are doing, regardless of what plan, eating way it
Mhm.
is. But the biggest thing is to educate yourself about the nutrition and what works for your body. Everybody's body is different. They respond to things differently. So, you know,
Exactly. And the thing is, research is discovering new things.
yes,
And there are levels I have more of an older research mindset, and I know this. But the thing is that my agenda here is healthier, you know, moving in the right direction. progress is progress. It may be small progress, and
Right.
this is not a race. And really, they research shows that the people that are more successful are the ones that lose weight slower,
Yes. You keep it
because you
all.
got to learn how to make this lifestyle.
Yeah, and
And
it's not just I'm going to do it for a year and then I'll be fine and I can have all the cheesecake I want. No, it doesn't work like that because our body says the minute you start feeding it that crap again, it says, yes, I have crap. Watch me fill up on it. And you just get bigger and bigger.
hmm and it's just one of those things. And even doctors will have a difference of opinion, and
Mhm.
even nutritionists will have difference of opinion. And that's what makes this so hard, because you're hearing different things. But I think that the end goal is the same,
Mhm.
you know. And we can't all do everything you're supposed to do all at once, and we may never be able to. But if you're just doing better, making healthier
Yeah.
choices, um, you know, and like I try to say in every time that I talk about, this type of subject, I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. Consult with your doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I'm just talking about things that seem to, work with me and that has helped me. Stuff that I found out on my journey. Some of it may have changed, the research. Um,
And it's always changing.
it is.
Honest,
I'm trying.
if you just look at eggs over the years, eggs were bad for you. Then they were good for you. Then they were bad
Now
for
they
you.
promote them,
So,
you know, and it's confusing. It really is. But I'm trying to just like encourage people, motivate people, hopefully help people in some way. That's what I'm trying to do, and talk about it. You know, because this is something that doesn't get talked about enough. People with this struggle, we need people to talk to, because we can relate. You know, yeah, our genetics is a factor.
big
Too much
time.
factors in. Hey, VJ, howdy, howdy. And I'm probably going to wrap up soon. Let's see. Yes, sugar causes high blood pressure. And a lot of time, one health problem leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. Yeah, I was intending to share some recipes today, but we're at 2.5 hours, and I try to keep my lives under 2 hours, so I'm already over. But if you're interested in those recipes, they are in the description box of the live. What I did was, Jane sent me some links, and she did more like search for healthier recipes, and kind of just had a few websites with different. I put, but well, one of them I didn't share because when I was kind of investigating, I didn't find like there was that much on it, and like some of the recipes I couldn't actually really get to, and it had a lot of ads. But the
I,
other two I did. I put, you know, where you can do your own digging with those two links. And then I found some that kind of called out to me. Now some I don't necessarily agree with exactly everything, and I would go healthier on, which I wanted to kind of talk about. So, you're gonna have to kind of make it what works for you. And I would suggest like trying to make certain things healthier,
well,
not putting as much of, uh, sorry.
that's like the website McCormick. Now they want you to use a lot of their spices. However, the only reason I included that is because it does tell you to use spices, but you don't have to use McCormick's because McCormick sometimes is high in sodium.
I was about to say that if you
So,
didn't.
but the only reason I listed it was because I didn't realize they had such a huge variety of recipes. And granted, if you take out their spices and add your own to some of those recipes, it's some pretty good eating and it's healthy eating. So,
Now, Crystal, I can't get into that last comment you left because YouTube will not let me. I
right.
can't tell you to go against doctor's advice.
Yeah,
I'll get in trouble with YouTube.
they will shut down the video and or your channel.
Or exactly. So that's why I don't go into those type of things. And whenever I see something in the chat, I kind of shut it down. Um, there's certain topics you cannot talk about on YouTube.
Right.
Now, some have to do with really, really getting in trouble with YouTube. Others is a monetization thing where
Yep.
certain people won't want their ads on your video if you talk about certain things.
Yep.
So, and a lot of people don't realize this. Um, so I just wanted to kind of address it. That's why I'm not going to talk about what you're saying. Take your
That's
doctor's advice.
that is a personal story. So,
But like I said, like that's one thing because I always got to figure out how to make stuff lower sodium, like stuff with cheese, and I still don't recommend to go heavy on cheese. Um, but I always cut cheese back, even like because cheese is higher in sodium. Really, Swiss cheese is the one cheese that is, the best for people that have sodium issues because it's the lowest in sodium. At least from what I know.
and I would say in most recipes, you can cut that cheese in half at least.
Mhm.
Or,
A lot of times I'll just use well, it's funny. Sometimes, like, if say I'm making like a pizza, I'll like take my half and use like just a little bit. Like I just kind of sprinkle it just to give it the taste. Frank's half.
yeah, even yours.
I haven't made pizza in a long time, but I don't because carbs. You typically have to use flour.
And I use a low carb tortilla to make my pizza. So,
So I used to like doing that 2 ingredient with the yogurt. And
mhm.
what I would do is I would take flour and there's well, it probably has some sodium, but it's like kind of like the sodium free baking powder that you got to
Mhm.
specially order, and it's more expensive. um and I would make it. But now that I'm diabetic, and even though like you have like your other type of healthier flours, and it might work with like maybe like an almond flour, like more your non-flour based flour.
Oat flour.
Oh, I don't know what you call it, but like sometimes it's the gluten-free flours. Um, but the thing, oh yeah, nut cheese is awesome. We made nachos one time and did like a nut cheese. I mean, it won't taste like cheese, but oh wow, I
It's
was
very
shocked.
it's very good because it's very different and it's like wow.
Yeah, it has a nut flavor, but I mean, you won't miss the cheese,
Yep.
but it's not going to taste like cheese. That
No,
was
if you
good. I'm glad you brought that up.
if you
Yeah,
expect it to
I
be mozzarella,
I'm
it
sorry,
ain't. If
but
you
I get
expect
what
it
you were.
to be It's not. Yes, definitely. Go for it.
But I get
I'm
what you were saying. But I just wanted to explain why I wouldn't, really get into that. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's so many things. But yes, you have certain diet issues, sugar, sodium. You know, you gotta have to change it. And even in general, like I said, even before I had to watch those things, I still probably would have taken steps to make it healthier. You add veggies. That's how you can get veggies in easily is cooking. Maybe add some spinach, onions and peppers, mushrooms. And those are usually easy to add to foods. I don't know if y'all like that, but if you do, let's see. I think I'm pretty much covered everything in the chat. Like I said, the links are in the description box for those recipes. Sorry we didn't get into it. Um, is there anything you want to mention quickly, Jane, or anything going on your channel?
no, just check it out. You may find something you like.
Exactly. And I am gonna play my little quick video to thank my Stitchin Alien members. I still have to add a few people. I'm getting there. Sometimes it takes me a week and sometimes even 2 weeks to add people. So I know I need to add y'all. And I want to thank y'all too. I haven't forgotten y'all. All right, where is my video? Give me a minute. That I might have taken it. Oh, here it is. I have about ten little videos, so I have to find what videos what. And since my cataract surgery, I do have sometimes it takes my eyes a little bit to focus. Okay, it seemed like that it didn't play as long as I thought it was gonna be. I was jamming, dancing. All right, so I do want to thank everybody for being here today. Some of y'all already had other things to do and left. Some of y'all are still with me. Some of y'all will watch the replay. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for watching. And I hope everyone is having a fabulous Yorny day. Be the light and always remember, be the best sparkly you that okay, take two. Always remember, be the best sparkly you that you can be. Be cool and be kind. Bye. Connie and Jane out.